On today's episode, I have with me Anil Gupta, a world-renowned expert on relationships and happiness, and we're going to be talking about happiness and gratitude and how to measure your happiness score, as well as the happiness formula to bring it up. This comes in great timing with Thanksgiving right ahead of us, so I hope you enjoy today's episode, have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and find lots of things to be grateful for. If you do enjoy today's episode, I would be extremely grateful if you would give us a 5-star rating and subscribe to our podcast so you get notified of future episodes. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and now on to the episode.
You're listening to the St. Louis Pain Expert Podcast with Dr. Dave Candy, St. Louis's leading expert in chronic pain relief. Dr. Candy specializes in helping women age 40 and above to overcome chronic, nagging aches and pains without medication, injections, or surgery, so they can stay active, mobile, healthy, and independent. Whether you're suffering from pain yourself or know someone who is, pain's a universal experience that affects us all, but that doesn't mean you have to suffer. Knowledge is power, and having the right information can help you or someone you love get on the road to recovery. On the St. Louis Pain Expert Podcast, Dr. Candy talks with other pain experts from around the world to give you the information you need to recover, the peace of mind of knowing that you're not alone, and the hope that lasting relief from chronic pain is possible, and it doesn't require relying on pills, injections, or surgery in order to do so. So sit back, relax, and open your ears, mind, and heart, and let the healing begin.
Welcome to the St. Louis Pain Expert Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dave Candy. I have with me here today Anil Gupta. Anil is a world expert on relationships and happiness, and he's a relationship coach. In fact, he describes himself as the last relationship coach you'll ever need. Anil overcame suicide in 2008 and has since then formulated the happiness formula, spoken on Fox News, at Harvard, on Sky TV, at TEDx, and he's written a bestseller book, Immediate Happiness, and he founded the Happiness Score. Anil's performed his relationship and mindset workshops in over 18 countries and has been translated in 8 languages with audiences of over 10,000. And he helps people make dramatic shifts in their mindset in just a matter of a few hours. So I am extremely pleased to have Anil as my guest today. Thank you for joining us, Anil.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
So, I first actually came across you hearing about your TED Talk around Thanksgiving time. And it has to do a lot with your happiness formula. But, given that we are all trying to be grateful this time of year, can you kind of fill us in on what exactly your happiness formula is?
Yeah, the happiness formula is this. Happiness is equal to G times G times G. And the first G is gratitude. We have to be grateful for what we have and not focus on what we don't have. So recently I dislocated my shoulder and I didn't realize how grateful I should have been or could have been for my shoulder because I really took it for granted. Just to be able to raise your hand or lift something or push something or grab something without that fear of what's going to happen next. So gratitude is about what you have, your hands, your feet, your legs, your eyes, your teeth. Your chair, your air, somewhere to live. So be grateful for what you have. The second G is you have to give your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, your joy. Give it away. And the third G is you have to grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. And Dave, if you do those 3 things, your life will completely change.
I know since starting to work on them, and it's always a work in progress, but it does seem to help a lot from just since I initially heard that. And thank you again for being here. Can you tell us how you came on this happiness score? How did you come up with this?
Well, it was just by accident because I was suicidal in 2008. And I'd overcome that. And then I wrote a bestseller book and I thought, what did I actually do? And I realized that, I did those 3 things, give, grow, and being grateful. And I thought, how could I put it in a formula? I thought, well, how about G plus G plus G? I said, well, that's not very strong mathematically. because it's exponential growth. What would give exponential growth? G times G times G. So that's a beautiful thing. At any time you're not feeling as happy as you should be or you normally are, one of those three G's is below the rest. So always focus on the lowest G. Keep focusing on the lowest G.
Now, you coach people with relationships and other forms of happiness. What are some of the common blocks that you find people coming across that keeps them kind of stuck in one G or the other, keeping that particular G down?
In relationships, you mean?
In relationships, or just in general, trying to achieve anything in life.
Well, they need clarity. So, something happens and they don't have clarity because they don't have the awareness. The awareness comes from assessing the situation, and an awareness gives you clarity. Clarity gives you focus. Focus gives you action. Action gives you results, which gives you momentum. So what they really need is awareness. And by using the formula, it gives them instant awareness so that they can address the situation rather than getting overwhelmed.
Now, if someone's already overwhelmed and they feel like maybe they have a problem in a lot of the or all three G areas, how would you identify which one to work on first?
Well, the lowest one, whichever one is the lowest, and ask yourself, have I given? Am I grateful, or do I need to grow? And the body and the brain will answer you.
Okay. Can you give an example of some things that we could be grateful for this time of year?
Yeah. So Dave, if you look at your hands, when was the last time you thanked them?
I don't know that I've ever thanked them. I am thankful for them. It's what I use to do my work, but
there you go.
I haven't.
Yeah. So these are the things you need to be grateful for. What would you give to get your hands back if you ever lost them? Anything. Yeah. Would it?
Probably just about, yeah.
Yeah, really. So, be grateful for that. Don't focus on, I don't have a nice car, nice house, blah, blah, blah. Just focus on when I still have my health, I still have my hands, I still have my eyes. Priceless.
Mm-hmm. How about growth? Can you tell us some different growth strategies people can use? Personal growth? Yeah.
So there are 4 parts to it: emotional, physical, spiritual, mental. So mental is just, keep busy mentally. Physical is obvious, go to the gym, go see a physical therapist, get yourself healthy. Emotional is the one that most people suffer with. So write down during the day what emotions you're feeling, and write down how many times a day you feel that. And then notice that there's a pattern. So working on your emotions will normally give you a big benefit in your level of happiness.
For people who tend to have more negative emotions, tend to have negative self-thoughts or negative self-talk, how would you help someone shift to more of a positive outlook, or how to love themselves more, essentially?
Okay. The number one thing to remove that is to give. In the moment you give, and the moment you give authentically, all the pain and suffering disappears. That's what you have to do, to give. It's such a powerful thing to do. It will remove everything that's bothering you.
So in order to, grow more personally or emotionally, you're saying that working on the giving actually helps to bring up that other G along with it as well.
Yeah, because if you work on the lowest one, all the 3 Gs rise.
So it is truly like a multiplication problem. Yeah. You bring anyone up and it multiplies everything.
Yeah, it's like a rising tide will lift all ships.
Well, you had, and I think you shared this on your TED Talk, but can you share your personal story as to kind of how you came about this?
Yeah, so in 2008, I was on the verge of suicide. I wouldn't eat with a knife just in case I did something stupid. Wouldn't walk up a flight of stairs or even cross the road just in case I just decided to do something very stupid. And it only takes 10 seconds to do something like that. And I had an intervention from several people, including my wife, and I realized my identity was around money. So I changed my identity to giving, to being caring, to being loving, to being sincere, to being authentic. And since then, I started doing events. My first event was 6 people, 10, 20, 50. Eventually, I spoke in front of 10,000 people. I wrote a bestseller book. I spoke in 18 countries, 8 languages. I've been on Fox News several times, Harvard several times, and I've done a TEDx talk. Richard Branson has been to my event, and even I coach people like Wimbledon champions and world boxing champions like Mike Tyson.
That's quite impressive, and it's a big turnaround. That it just goes to show that anyone, no matter what level of suffering you're suffering with, can turn things around and create the life that you want. What about people in pain? A lot of times people who suffer with chronic pain, they are depressed and kind of feel like, well, gosh, I just have a horrible outlook for the future. What advice would you give them to help them?
It's all about BS. You know what BS is?
I think I do, but what's your definition?
BS is belief systems. If they believe they can't get better, then they're not in pain, they're in suffering. So pain is temporary, suffering is permanent. So if you feel you're not going to get better, it's going to be very depressive. So there's always a way. There's always a way. Find a way. Go find a way. Your health is dependent on you. Don't rely on other people to alleviate your health issues. Mindset is everything. Change your mindset, you change your life.
Great. For people who kind of feel like they've been let down by the medical system and they need somewhere to turn to start to restructure their mindset. Maybe they've never done anything like that, or they were raised in a household where a lot of their authority figures growing up held that similar mindset. How do you get out of that if you've been living with it your whole life?
Well, you ask yourself better questions. Has the normal treatment programs worked for me? Has the system served me? What could I do differently? How could I do something differently? Where could I go? What recommendations could I get? What reviews could I get? What could I do differently? So by asking better quality questions, you'll get better quality answers.
And it sounds like really your approach is pretty introspective, just spending time alone, talking to yourself, which can be scary because sometimes you don't want to discover some of those answers, and then working to improve them.
Yeah, everything is within you. Everything is mindset. You cannot be in love. You cannot be joyous. You cannot be successful without awareness. So you are causing the matter. Whatever you do, somehow you caused it. So it ultimately, everything is down to you. Okay.
Now, you did write a bestseller book. Can you tell us a little bit about what's in your book, The Immediate Happiness?
Yeah, it's really not a book, but it's a manual. See, we were never given a manual when we were born. We had to learn it. So this is a manual on human behavior, why you get upset, why you sabotage your relationships, how to improve your relationships, how to improve your listening, communication skills. Everything that you need to know about human behavior is in that book. And if you take the book on and do the exercises, your life will change completely instantly.
Wow. Now, I assume that's available on Amazon and other book places?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's in Spanish and English. And it's available on Audible too. So that's quite incredible.
Okay. Yeah. You can even listen to it in the car. And then the happiness score, that's just the G times G times G that you mentioned?
That's a happiness formula. The happiness score is a score that you get when you answer 25 questions in 3 minutes. You'll get a detailed report on how happy you are, what areas of your life you need to work on, and the impact will be huge.
Wow. And those are specific 25 questions that are available somewhere?
Yeah, if you go to myhappytest.com, you can take the test, you'll get a result back, and it'll tell you, along with about 22 videos, areas of your life that you need to work on.
Okay, so you get, you take this test, and then it'll recommend videos based on what you scored low on as to what you can do to improve your happiness?
Absolutely. You'll get a detailed breakdown of the areas of your life you need to work on. And that's the only thing you need to work on. Just work on one area at a time.
Yeah, I'm sure we all have more than one thing going on. And like you said, it can be overwhelming. You take that test and identify all these problems, so to speak. But it's nice to know that you just work on one and just eat away at it slowly, and things slowly start to improve.
Fantastic.
Now, you coach people individually as well. How would someone reach out to you if they were interested in, a personal coach?
And, what I would say to people is this: if there's any part of your life, any part of your relationship that could be improved, whether it's with yourself, with your partner, or with your children, I'm absolutely giving a free session. There is no sales pitch. I will spend my time talking to you, giving you the insights that I have, and then you can just walk away. There is no sales pitch. There is nothing for me to sell to you, but I promise you, you will not regret it. It would be almost insane not to take this offer up, because you're going to get beautiful insights. Your life will change. Your communication levels will change, and you'll get a game plan so that it'll impact the rest of your life. And if you go to chatwithanil.com, and you can book a private session with me.
Okay. I'll put that link along with the book links and some of the other ones you mentioned in the show notes, so that people can get in touch. And, just from the little bit that I've known you personally, you do have a lot to give people. And you practice what you preach. You're giving every single day. And I'm sure that has helped pay some good returns in the long run, just doing what's right, and it comes back around.
No, I appreciate that. No, it's a special gift I have. I can turn something around in a matter of hours. So it's a beautiful gift, and I want to share it with the world.
We all have things that sometimes are so close to us, and sometimes it's blatantly obvious to someone like you who has the gift to recognize those, but it's so close to us sometimes we just don't see it because it's right in front of us.
Absolutely.
So that's great what you do. Any other summary comments for people who are seeking to improve their happiness?
Yeah, so here's some homework. I would go out and perform 5 random acts of kindness. I would write down 50 things you're grateful for, and just work on your emotional health. Work on getting stronger emotionally, repeating positive things and negative things. And all of these things will make a difference.
So give 5 things and write down 50 things you're grateful for.
Perform 5 acts of kindness, 50 things you're grateful for, and work on your emotional well-being.
Okay. Well, thank you for giving to us today and taking time out of your schedule. Hopefully myself and all the listeners will grow from this. And I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the St. Louis Pain Expert Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you live in the St. Louis area and would like Dr. Candy's help to find a solution to your pain, visit our website at stlpainexpert.com. Email Dr. Candy at dave@stlpainexpert.com, or call Dr. Candy's clinical practice, Movement for Life, at 314-941-3970. Movement for Life offers free consultations called discovery visits to people who are serious about discovering how they can relieve their pain and get back to the happy, healthy, and active lifestyle they deserve. If you're listening from outside the St. Louis area but would still like some help, feel free to contact us to learn more about our virtual health coaching. Regardless of where you live, please share our podcast with anyone you know who would benefit from learning more about pain and what can be done to relieve it. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google, Spotify, or your other favorite podcast platform so you get notified when we release a new episode. Thanks again for listening, and we hope you'll enjoy us again soon.